ॐ नीलाम्बुजश्यामलकोमलङ्गं सीतासमारोपितवामभागं पाणौ महासायकचारुचापं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम्. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side. He is carrying powerful bow and arrow in his hands. Sri Ramcharitmanas, Ayodhya Kanda, and verse number is 240. The context of the story is that Bharata, with all the party from Ayodhya, they have come to meet Rama. And Bharata has come forward first. Bharata Shatrughna, led by Guha Nishad. And this is the context of Rama-Bharata Milan, bringing out profound, inspiring vision of perfection attained in Jnana and Bhakti. Jnana is represented by Rama's movement. Rama is absolute, but he is also playing a relative role as inspirer on the path of Jnana Yoga. And Bharata is Bhakti. Jnana keeps you dry if you don't have Bhakti. Because you begin with nothing exists. Snake on the rope. You are neither the body, mind, etc. You are Brahman. Now, if you are not well prepared, that statement and suddenly trying to practice it will lead you to a dry state. It is not real success. You will lose the opportunity of being benefited by the opportunity for service, doing good to others, opportunity for 3 Dha. Dhamma, controlling the mind and senses. Dana, being charitable. Daya, compassion. If these are not developing, and you end up, I have reached the Mount Everest, but hardly you know what Mount Everest is. Have you read in the geography book? Suddenly stood up on a little hill and stretch out your hands. I've reached the Mount Everest. I'm joking, but that's the way it looks like. If you have no heart and just develop intellectual knowledge, you may be speaking of the highest wisdom, but you are not understanding it. And nobody will be inspired by your talk. So, that's represented by dry jnana, shushti jnana. And Bharata is devotion. Devotion also alone without jnana becomes, it brings about disintegration in your personality. All heart, but void of understanding. You have to figure that out. Proper integration is heart and head must be in harmony, in tune. And that tuning aspect is at the profoundest level. And that is being illustrated by Bharata meeting Rama. And with that profound vision, now you enjoy the rasa of this story. It is Jnana rasa blended with Bhakti rasa. And therefore it is sarasa. बरबस लिए उठायुर लाए कृपा निधान भरत राम की मिलन लकी बिसरे सब ही अपान. Sri Rama lifted up Bharata with a great speed. The word is used, jabardasti. He compelled, perforce, he picked up Bharata and enfolded him in his arms, implying Rama used his muscles to lift Bharata. Jnana becomes highly fulfilled when Bhakti movement starts. Nothing is more thrilling for your Jnana movement, because your love begins to open a window to see, to allow the mind to flow to Brahman through everything in this world. Because Bhakti is opening the mind, ghat ghat mein hai sai ramata. In every individual, God dwells. God is dwelling in all, is all permeating reality. He is the source of all joy. All the Vibhuti Yoga and Virat Darshan Yoga, they all become possible through Bhakti. And if that Bhakti has come, the deep intuitive knowledge, all is Brahman. Both therefore, all is Brahman. And God is shining in every object. If these two have become blended and compounded, that's the highest goal. But the goal is not being presented, but how it begins. Early stage. Is not very early either, but in a very effective stage of the role of Bhakti and Jnana, presented by Rama and Bharata meeting together. Milani priti kimi jai bakhani, kapigula agam karma manabani. Now this meeting, with modern technology, all we need is to take a picture. But this meeting is not confined to picture. This meeting has something so profound. When a person expresses love, and a loving sentiment is behind any meeting, the photos you take, they take the only external appearance. They don't take the picture of the heart. I will not lead you to too much of a distraction. This divine meeting, now you want to understand, how will it be? Let me read the Valmiki Ramayana. Let me read the most literary description of Bhakti. But must realize the sages, saints, devotees with profound ecstasy have brought out their experience of divine love through amazing words, verses, melodies, inspiring statements. But all these are only fingers pointing to. In other words, simply by possessing great stotras and great statements of great sages, you have not captured what real experience is. You have to do something. Similarly, in your mind, your intellect has become as if fulfilled, that you have known exactly this is what happens in para bhakti, and this is what happens in Jnana. And you can also use excellent literature to express. But does that mean that you have experienced it? The experience transcends, in brief, all that you want to say. This is not to discourage you, but that's the limitation in bringing out divine wisdom through words. That limitation you have to always understand. But, as I said, it is not discouraging you from you, but to understand that God is indescribable. No matter how great a poet, God cannot be brought into his poetry. He can use inspiring statements. He can inspire others. But he cannot exactly present what Brahman is. Parama prema puran do bhai, man buddhi chit ahamiti bisarai. Bharata and Rama, they are as if embodiments of devotion and wisdom. And they are beyond man, buddhi, chitta, ahamkar. Man, buddhi, chitta, ahamiti visarai. When they met, they lost the awareness of mind, intellect, chitta, ahamkara. Kahau supem pradat ko karai, kehi chaya kavi mati anusarai. Who can express that divine love presented through Rama-Bharata, Milan? Kehi chaya kavi mati anusarai. A poet, when he describes something, he uses a simile. God is great, untouched by the world, like the sky. So he uses something that can explain God. But whatever he uses is only shadows, not realities. Kehi chaya kavi mati anusarai. See, Brahman has no shadow. How can the poet's intellect exactly describe Brahman? Kabhi arth akar balu sancha, anhari tal gati natunacha. The capacity of the poet lies in his ability to use words, their meaning, composing verses, creating melodies. All this, a kavi, a highly literary person, poet can use. But since already I have explained, there is no simile that can exactly present Brahman in the entire universe. And similar is the predicament with those who present spiritual devotion through song and dances. You can dance the best. Presenting people, this is the way Krishna danced. But did it really? You can inspire. All that is being said is, all expressions and descriptions are limited. So, if you are inspired by the descriptions and teachings, you must understand the teachings have inspired you by showing one little penny. And if one penny is so inspiring, the boundless treasure will be beyond your belief. Agam saneha bharat raghubar ko, jahan jai manu vidhi hari har ko. Now, can see Tulsidasji goes beyond limits and still remains limited. He says, the profound love that Bharata and Shatrugna had between them, that love cannot be fully explored even by Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. What happened to Tulsidasji? Subtle meaning is that even when we say Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, you are using your concept, mental concept. God who is the creator, therefore he is Brahma. The sustainer, Vishnu. And he dissolves it all, Shiva. And that's it. But all that you have brought to your mind about the sublimest way of visualizing God is limited to your mind. So that limited concept of God is Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So don't develop that subtle idea that somehow these deities are being lessened. But how you hold your concept of deities, there the deities become limited. And for understanding that, simple way to understand is, in upasana you have different levels. God is worshipped as Sagun Sakar. That's the most popular way of worshipping God. He has a picture, he has a form, and he has divine qualities. So all worship starts with mantra initiation, and every mantra has a deity. And so Sagun Sakar, you start, that's the starting point. As you advance, you come to the stage of Sagun Nirakar, implying that even when you are not in the temple before the deity, you develop the understanding that God is divine presence. He can be worshipped in your very heart. He can be felt indwelling everything around you. And you can allow your mind to work upon various divine virtues, qualities, God is infinite compassion, is infinite glory, beauty, and so forth. When you are doing that, it is Sagun Sakar, rather Sagun Nirakar. And then comes Nirgun Nirakar. Nirgun Nirakar now goes beyond your words. So, for Nirgun Nirakar, you are like diving into deeper level, not dependent on words, not dependent on mental concepts. So keeping that picture in view, this is the statement that this love between Bharata and Rama cannot be described even by Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. The Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva is Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva the way you understand God. सो मैं कुमति कहूँ के ही भांति बाज सुराग की गांदर गांडर थाती आई हूँ कुबुद्धि. Tulsidasji is expressing his humility and also expressing the truth of the matter. Buddhi cannot fully grasp. So even the best of buddhi is kubuddhi in this context. At the same time, great saints and devotees express humility because they are identifying themselves with everyone. So much so, Tulsidasji says, Mosam kaun kutil khal kami. Who is there in the world more crooked than me? More wicked than me? More impure than me? Because Tulsidasji is a state of the eyes. And when you have only the slightest little speck, your eyes complain most. So, saint's perception of slightest weakness is as if it is very highlighted, very powerful. And this allegorical poetic language used, Baj Surag ke Gandar Thati. Gandar is kind of a grass, wild type. You can't draw strings from Gandar type of product. The strings that will bring out wonderful music. Milani bilo ki bharatar gubar ki surgan sabhay dhadak dhaki dharaki. Seeing this Bharata Rama Milan, gods became afraid. Their hearts began to beat fast, close to heart failure. Samujhaye sur guru jad jage, barashi prasun prasansan lage. Their guru, Sage Brihaspati, brought them to right understanding. And when they understood the subtle wisdom, they began to shower flowers and began to praise Rama and Bharata. Why were they so afraid? Because in the storyline, gods were waiting for Rama to destroy Ravana. And Rama had incarnated as a result of God's effort. And now Bharata has come with such love that gods become confused. That Rama will just go with Bharata and become the ruler. So who is going to kill Ravana? So the whole plot of Rama's incarnation will fail. Sage Brihaspati brought them in the right understanding. This has also a little echo of challenge in your understanding. That challenge is, should you be satisfied with developing all virtues and not attaining liberation? Attaining liberation, one side. Developing virtues, another side. Developing virtues looks so good. You are in the heaven with all the gods. Mukti, what's there in it? So, virtue that is sakamya, that's virtues are presented as gods in heaven. But virtues in sakamya state are imperfect virtues. And therefore, gods are always in a storyline eager to go beyond the limitation of kama. That's a deeper level. That's why gods are always shown in struggle, in fight. And when gods come to that security, in other words, when virtues are going to become absolutely secure, when will it happen? When you don't have kama. When you are not practicing sadhana for coming back into the world. That's what means kama, sakamya. When your worship has become nishkamya, it's the good news for all your virtues. Otherwise, virtues will come in a shaken condition. Who straightens these virtues? Guru. Brihaspati got them in the right way. Milis sapem ripusudanahi kevati bhetau ram bhuri bhai bhete bharat lachiman karat pranam. Now the storyline, how they meet, the sequence, etc. Rama, after having met Bharata, meets Shatrugna. And then he met Guha Nishad, who represents spirit of friendliness, Maitri. Shatrugna represents karma, karma yoga. So if you want to go into the deeper level, you can understand those points. All the four yogas interact in the story of Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrugna. And all these operate in every individual. So you don't have to wait for Treta Yuga. And Ramayana is operating in every individual, in different stages. And every soul is essentially Rama. Bheteu lakhan lalaki lagu bhai, bahuri nishadu linaur lai. Lakshmana, with great joy, met Shatrugna and folded him in his arms. You must remember that they are twins, Lakshmana and Shatrugna, sons of Sumitra. And in philosophy line, karma and dhyana. Lakshmana is willpower. pursued by Jnana Yoga. And Shatrughna sublimates malas, karma yoga. So if malas are being sublimated, dhyana becomes much more secure. So that's how, while Shatrughna is doing his divine duty in Ayodhya, Lakshmana is doing his duty with Rama. Now, following the storyline, Bharata and Shatrughna both received, both offered their adorations to sages, because you must realize Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, they are in the assembly of sages. And all those sages are all in suspense looking at this great scene of Rama-Bharata Milan. Now these two brothers, Bharata and Shatrughna, bow down to the sages who give them their blessings. Sanuja Bharata umagi anuraga dhari sir siya pad padam padum paraga. And then Bharata along with Shatrughna touch the lotus feet of Sita Devi and offer adorations again and again. Puni puni karat pranam uthaye, sir kar kamal parasi baithaye. Sita ji placed her gracious palm, lotus hand on the heads of Shatrughna and Bharata and made them sit graciously, blessing them. Siya asisa dina manamahi, magana saneha deha sudhinahi. Sita was so happy, she was not aware of her body. Mentally she was full of blessings for Bharata and Shatrughna. Sabbidhi sanukula lakhi Sita, beni shocha ur apadaras bita. Receiving such blessings from Sita Devi, Bharata became free of grief or anxiety, because he has subtle anxiety, will I be welcomed by Rama, Lakshmana and Sita? That stress of worry vanished. He became nishoj, sorrowless, anxiety-less. Koi kichu kai na kau kichu puncha, prema bhara man nij gati chuncha. In that state of ecstasy of love, no one is asking anything, no one is answering anything. Mind is full of love. That's called the big eloquence. When you are experiencing something thrilling, as long as you can describe it, you have not really come to enjoy the thrill, beauty. But when you come to enjoy the thrill, like you have dived, as long as you are swimming, you go on saying, oh, wonderful swim, wonderful ocean. But dive, more wonderful than you imagined. But your mouth is shut. And then at that time, Kevata Nishadaraj Guha, with folded hand, Nath Satha Muni Nath Ke, Matu Sakala Puralog, Sevaka Senap Sachiva Sab, Aaye vikal abhiyog, Guha Nishad says, with folded hands, that Sage Vasishtha, the great Guru, and all the mothers, citizens of Ayodhya, servants, general of the army, minister, they have come suffering from the pangs of separation from you, O Rama, and they are all want to see you. Bharata had come first and leaving behind all these people who are waiting. So in brief, they are now all, Rama is being informed that all have come. Shila Sindhu Suni Guru Agabanu Siya Sameep Rakhe Sripur Damanu. Having heard that great Guru has arrived, Rama, who is the ocean of righteousness, leaving Sita with Shatrughna behind, he went forward to meet Vasishtha. Chale sabeg Ramu tehi kala, dhir dharam durdhin dayala. And with great thrill, with fast steps, Rama proceeded to meet Sage Vasishtha. Who is Rama? Dharma Dhurandhar, skilled in pursuing the path of Dharma. Deen Dayalu, compassionate towards all those who have become deen. Deen means those who have developed spiritual qualities. Otherwise, literally means those who are poor. But poor term here is in a mystic way. And from a very broad point of view, no matter where you are, God's compassion is guiding every soul. Rama went ahead with great speed to meet Sage Vasishtha. Guru hi dekhi sanuja anurage, danda pranam karana prabhu lage. Rama and Lakshmana both went. Rama, with the heart overwhelmed with love, offered his adorations to Sage Vasishtha. Munivar dhai liye uralai, prema umagi pete do bhai. Sage Vasishtha himself rushed to meet Rama. He enfolded him in his heart. Not only Rama, he met Shatrughna as well. Prema pulaki kevat kahi namu, kinha durite danda pranamu. Nishadaraj Kevata Guha, who is the embodiment of friendliness, Matri Bhavana. He, stating his identity, I, Kevat Nishadaraj, offering adorations to you, O sage. And Vasishtha, knowing that he was friend of Rama, so even though Nishadaraj belonged to a caste, a social sector that is viewed very low tribe, but to Vasishtha, he was recognized as Ram Sakha, friend of Rama. Sage Vasishtha rushed to enfold Kevata, as if love that had gone into mud, pearl of love. And then what do? You take the pearl out. You bend down, you don't care the mud. So that was the relation, the way Vasishtha greeted. Vasishtha met Guha Nishad. Guha Nishad is like a pearl. What he saw in him is a devotion, Matri Bhava. So even though apparently he belongs to a muddy section, it doesn't matter. You can figure that out. See. What will you do if your pearl necklace falls into the mud? Will you leave the pearl? You don't even see the mud. All that you have the thrill of found it. Raghupati Bhagati Subangala Mula Navasarahi Surabarsahi Pula. Devotion to Rama is the source of all Mangalam, all that is auspicious. Thus, making statements, gods began to offer flowers from the sky, up from the sky. Again, each time you hear all that subtle meaning behind it, its atmosphere becomes especially charged with spiritual uplifting vibrations. Whenever inspiring satsanga is presented to people, a special type of atmosphere builds up that drives away mental worries and anxieties, and faces that were dull and dumb shine up with joy. When that is happening, why it is happening? Because God's offered flowers. Suman. Where does the flower touch? Your mind. Mind is a man. And when the mind becomes delighted with spiritual understanding, then it's called Suman. And that Suman is flower offered by gods. I'm just giving you details of the literature. Jehi dekh lakhi lakha nahu te adhik mile mudit muni rao so sitapati bhajan ko pragat pratap prabhav. Sage Vasishtha gave more attention to that Guha Nishad than he gave to Lakshmana. Subtle meaning is Matri Bhavana is the sustenance of dhyana, meditation. If you want success in meditation, your mind should not hold on to grudges and inimical feelings. The more your mind has a sense of Matri, the whole world is your friend. And your meditation should have the bhavana, I am doing all this. But may what I am doing help all people. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. So a meditation that does not appreciate this great statement, Sarve bhavantu sukhina, that meditation will not have great success. It will bring certain psychic powers, but not liberation. So Matri Bhavana plays a tremendous part. And that's presented by Nishada. And with this I'm going to conclude. Om Ram 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 Ram. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Pray for a shower of Karunamaya Ras, grace of God over all. May God bless all of you. Om, and blessing is for Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Shakti, you need a strength to face challenges. Bhakti, while you face it, it should be saras, sweet. It should be taking waffle. Mukti, liberation. May these blessings shower on all. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukmva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukhabhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat.